Welcome back, everybody. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. I know it took a little bit longer than expected to get Mr. Devin Wilkins back in the studio here, but we've got him. It's a Saturday. We jumped in the podcast room instead of the studio, and we're very happy to have him. So, Devin Wilkins, DSW Appraisals. Bro, thank you so much for taking the time to pop in.
Appreciate you having me, especially on a Saturday.
I
Taking your
know,
time.
dude, this is you taking your time out of your personal, relax time. I don't even know if you know what that is lately. You're working so much, bro, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy. That's real estate, man. Same
Okay.
as you.
True that. Okay. In simple terms, bro, where is a good place to spend money to ensure people can get a good return?
As I thought about it, I think the biggest overall thing that I could say is to make sure that your improvements meet your market.
Okay.
Don't go in whatever improvements you're going to do, whether you're going to do a simple update of flooring or whatever. If you're going to do a full remodel, make sure that you're going to get that return on your investment.
Right.
Um,
Which means what really? Just
but
not upgrading to the point where it
Yep,
doesn't fit in with your
yep,
neighborhood.
exactly.
Okay.
So get with a real estate professional. Either get with an appraiser, get with a realtor, get with somebody that knows the market and can provide you with data. Um, Look and see. Has a neighbor have they done any upgrades? Are there sales in the neighborhood that have been remodeled, and at what price point are those? If I put X amount of money into this house, am I realistically going to be able to uh, get a loan on it? And is it going to, is the return on that investment going to be worth it?
Right.
Don't over improve. And so what that means is don't buy it as a rehab property and then put so much money into it that you're gonna have to eat that when
Right.
you when you're trying to get out of it, because you can't. Not supportable, can't get a loan on it, things
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So in regards to one or two items, obviously, if it is a little bit of a rehab project, you just want to update a couple of things.
yeah.
People are probably aware already. If they're not, would you say it's flooring and a lick of paint, or particular rooms in the house that get more of a return than others?
I would say if we're going just simple, I think it speaks volumes to have just that simple flooring.
Right.
Um, as you and I have talked about, LVP right now is hands down the most popular. It's resilient, looks good, things like that. So um, flooring, your fixtures, your plumbing and electrical and things, lighting, light fixtures, simple things. You need to put on your buyer goggles. When you go into, if you were going into this home, what would be the things that would really pop to you, the things that would stand out?
Mm.
I would say the number one when I go through, if it does have remodeled flooring or updated flooring and paint, I mean that makes it look already so much better.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's about as simple as it gets, almost, right?
yep.
Other than, like you said, light fixtures. I know I've changed a few of
hmm
those out myself. They're super easy to buy online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would say, as we've seen, you see these commercials for these quick and easy bathroom remodels. I
Oh,
would say
right.
if you're gonna go for an updated room, maybe you do something simple like that. It's relatively inexpensive to do a vanity and some countertop or
Right.
simple things like
Yeah.
that. Which, if you're gonna do a full room, maybe you're able to save the tile surround or things like that don't have to be changed, so it can be done pretty easy. Once you start getting into full kitchen remodels and full things like that that have a lot of moving parts and some higher value things, then you can expect
Yeah.
the
You're
VAT.
pushing a little bit.
Yeah. So
Okay, so don't overextend yourself past what your neighborhood and your surrounding comps are going to be able to give you feedback on. Choose a couple of simple things that you can either do yourself. I know a lot of people are pretty venturous when it comes to installing LVP on their own. You do
yeah,
want to make sure it is a good job, because, again, if you're putting your buyer hat on, you're going to be looking at some little corners here. If you mess it up, I know you can maybe just buy a pallet of
yeah,
LVP, so that's not too bad. Paint, just if you're going to do it and do it yourself, just make sure you do the good prep work. everything is in the prep work, and make sure it looks fantastic. Okay, so Dev, what is the what's the appraisal business like lately? And from your terms as an appraiser, how is the industry moving up, down, pivoting? What's happening?
I have people ask me all the time. Number one, if we're busy, which we're still staying busy. Number two, if we're if it's declining, if it's what is the market doing?
Hmm.
Overall numbers have shown that there's been a 3 to 5% ish decline, something like that. But that really isn't a big enough number to call it a decline per se.
Right. Okay.
Overall, the feel is that our market has remained stable
Mm-hmm.
overall over the past year, couple of years. So we're in a stable market right now.
A lot of not a lot of refis, obviously. I would imagine that in regards to what you're doing, it's just new builds, stuff like that.
Definitely, the refi boom had slowed down once rates jumped up and got up there. We are seeing more as rates continue to come down.
Mm.
We're
They'll be
we're
starting to
seeing
sneak in.
a little more of the refinance and
Yeah.
things like that. So
Okay.
definitely.
And what are the instances where uh, someone in a personal instance would hire your services? Do they ever? And is it just
Sure.
for hey, we want to know
Yep.
what our home is
Yep.
really worth from a professional standpoint?
So number one, when I have we call it a private client call for an appraisal, just know that you're not going to be able to get a loan on that. I can't do an appraisal for you, a private one, and then go take it to your bank and you're going to get a loan. But the instances that we are able to do a private, number one, if you just want to know what your value is, we can do an appraisal and see what your value is. We're able to measure and do our square footage, so make sure that the square footage is matching up. Maybe you have some discrepancy, you've got a two-story or whatever it is, and you just don't feel like that square footage is right. We can also do that. Tax appeal, we do tax appeal work.
What's that? Explain that to me.
So if you get your tax assessment and you feel that is higher than it should be,
Oh, okay.
we can do, usually we start just by doing a preliminary look at it just to see if there's reasoning, and before we do a full-blown appraisal. But if there is evidence that that's probably a good idea, then we push forward with that too. So
Okay.
um, we'll do it for trust work, divorces, so local attorneys and things around here. Um, yeah, so that's kind of the private work side. Local real estate agents, doing pre-listing stuff for if you just have questions on where a value needs to be or a complex property, feel free to reach out.
Okay. Perfect. And
Yep.
what's the best way to get hold of you?
DSW Appraisals at gmail.com or reach out 801-494-7181.
Perfect. One more time, just in case they missed that.
DSW Appraisals with an S plural at gmail.com, and then our phone number is 801-494-7181.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Guys, if you struggle to get hold of Devin at any stage, please feel free to reach out to me. He's on my fast, quick dial at the moment, so I'll definitely be able to assist you in any of the things that we've talked about today. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.